Hello and welcome. And in this video, I want to share with you my experience of connecting the Longair B1 laser for the first time and my very first laser, which was and still is, because it's in the far corner over there, which is the Longair Ray5 20-watt laser. They're very different lasers, I have to admit. But the Ray5 was relatively easy to put together, but I was a novice. You see, well, put things together never was an issue for me. But connecting it to the computer, it took me a little while to get my head around. Also, I had a bit of an issue with it. And one of those issues was static build-up along the top rail. And as it was going backwards and forwards on small pieces, there was no static build-up. It managed to complete them. But as soon as I tried to do a longer piece, say about 200mm long, it would only get partway through, and that was it. It didn't want to know after that. And you had to try and restart it, and it would do exactly the same thing again. What it was building up static. So what I did with the Longair Ray5, I wired it up with an earth wire. Basically grounded it on every single piece, as like the base frame, the cross rail, is it x-axis or y-axis? Anyway, the one that goes crossways. I earthed that, and also the carriage. I earthed that and made it all neat and tidy, and run that down to earth so it can disperse the static electricity that was building up. And it worked. I've had no problems with it since. No. It also had another little issue with the top rail, where the actual wheels were set on the tight side from the factory, and I had to devise a way to alter it slightly because there wasn't enough free movement for me to take some of that pressure off. It was way too tight. So anyway, I did that, and it's been working absolutely, it's been working absolutely fine. You see? Now, connect it to the computer using Lightburn software, which is the software here. There you go. Lightburn software, which is I think it's like the industry standard. There's another one as well you can use, a free one called Gerbil, something or other. And Laser Gerbil, that's it, Laser Gerbil. But I've chose the Lightburn. I'm currently on the demo version, and I've been able to just keep renewing the demo version. It allows you to do that. I imagine what happens, you build a certain amount of time on there, and then they say, no, enough is enough, and you've got to pay for it. And it's about 60, 70 euros. So I think I'll just pay for it. I think I have to. Because it is really good software. You can design directly onto the actual workplace here. Using the palette on the left. Or you can create your artwork in, say, Photoshop or any designer software, what have you. Save as a PDF or other file types as well. Drag it over, and you can do it like that. So it is really easy. But you have to connect it to the to your software, you see. And the software itself does have an automatic setting to detect your laser, but in both cases, the Ray5 and also the B1 as well, which happens to be there you go, the B1 laser here, which is a much nicer, more refined laser than the, let me show you, than the actual okay, I'm probably going a bit quieter, a bit further away from the microphone. So if I show you, that's the Ray5, which is a little bit more, I'd put it, agricultural, but I say that it's a bit unfair, really. It's actually a really good thing, it really is. But the B1 is clearly a much more refined. I'm back near the microphone now, so it's definitely more refined by far, and it's more constructed. It's more together when you get it. It actually doesn't take very long at all to put it together. And also, I found that I haven't had to add any cabling for static electricity. That's been absolutely fine. So far, so good. I'm not saying I'm not going to have to, but it seems like they've ironed that problem out. It works much nicer, smoother and stuff like that. But connecting it to the computer was very similar, although obviously after doing one, I have a bit more of an idea how to do the second one. So maybe it's an unfair example. But all you got to do to connect it is if I come down here. Okay, go back onto the window. There you go. You'll see on here it says devices. All right. At the moment, I've got no devices connected because I've just turned it off because it's noisy. Give the idea. Well, you won't hear because the microphone's directional. This area here where it says devices, you basically click on that, and another window comes up. I might be able to show you the other window actually. Let me just bring that up. Devices. There you go. So if I bring that window up, there you go. Devices. And in this window here, it says find my laser. I've had no success with that on either machine. So you have to create it manually. Now you might have more success than I did. But you see here, I've got two lasers now. I've got the Ray5 20 watt and the B1 40 watt. So basically, all you've got to do is select the laser that you want to use. You know, and I've put a splitter on the USB with switches on, so I can actually have one off, one on. If I want, it doesn't cause any conflict. So what I had to do is go into create manually, which is going to bring me another window, but you might not see it. I can't see it, it's not working anyway. You have to create manually, they'll ask you to name it and all that sort of stuff. Why isn't it working now? That's strange, none of the buttons are working. That's rather odd. Have I got another window up somewhere? Oh, anyway. No, anyway. Basically, you click create manually, and it gives you an option, and you just click. You have to select what type of laser it is, which in this case would be the gerbil. So it's Gebrl, I think it is. So you just have to click that, and then it'll ask you about the size of the actual. I might do it before actually. Ask you the size of your laser, XY axis. In this case, it was 450 by 440, and then you name it. Like I've chose Ray5 20 watt and B1 40 watt. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? And then click OK, and then it'll come up in this window here, and you're going to select that window. You go OK, everything's good, and then on the bottom here, let me just bring that over so you can see it. That one there we go. On the right hand side there, at the bottom, where you've got devices, okay, you've got COM3, or whatever comms are coming up on your device. So like, if I click that, none of the actual windows are working for some reason, but it gives you the option of different comms, basically your USB serial com. If you turn your laser on, once you've got it in your computer, okay, and you turn your laser on before actually putting your software on, before bringing up Lightburn, it usually sees the laser straight away, and you don't have to make any selections. That's what I found anyway. It did work. But if you want to swap from one laser to another, if you've got more than one, but then you obviously have to go into devices and you select your device. Once I've done that, I just brought up the file that I was using on the Ray5 for the flood fill, and everything seemed to work perfectly well straight away. I didn't have to do any other settings whatsoever. All I had to do was change the power output, because obviously it's the more powerful laser, and I was using the same file, such as this one here, which I was using for the Douglas fir test, for the flood fill test. But obviously, if I did it at 70%, which this was done at 70%, on a laser that's a 40 watt laser, not a 20 watt laser, needless to say, it might be a bit scorched. Just a bit. So I had to knock the power down. That's easy though. You just double click on the layers palette. Let me just show you again. you just have to click on the layers palette up the top here, just here, and then you can change the settings. You can see at the moment I've got on 60% power at the moment. So it's easy to do. It's really easy to do. And a lot of it I found is fairly self-explanatory. And it's been quite a pleasant experience, actually. I was expecting to be racking my brain over this for absolutely ages. And although I had the hiccup regarding the static electricity on the Ray5, I haven't had any of those problems yet on the B1. So touch wood, everything is going to be hunky-dory. So anyway, I thought to share it with you. But hang on, just a second. So what was the main difference between setting up the two lasers? I would say that the Ray5, 20 watt, took much longer to put together, many more screws and little bits and pieces than the B1. The B1 was really easy to put together, this one here. It's clearly a more refined piece of kit, it really is. Connecting it up, the air assist was easier on the B1. It's actually controlled by the computer on the B1, whereas the air assist on the long gear is manual control. You tell the software that you're using air assist, but you change your settings and what have you on the pump itself. Well, some people might like that, some people might not. But on the longer B1, it just seems to just do it. It's definitely, yeah, it's easier in that way. Connecting to the computer, I don't think I can give a fair example on that really, because in the day, it did take me longer than the Ray5, but that's because I'm new to it. You know? I'm still new to it. I'm still learning. I think you never stop learning anyway, do you, really? You've got to be a little bit humble about this stuff. I mean, not everyone's a genius, you know, but you have to 2 or 3 months of playing about with it, off and on. So that was really easy to put together. I haven't had any problems with static. Connection to the computer was very similar. I think the static thing is one of the biggest. It was one of the biggest downsides with the Ray5. Although it was easy to get over, I sorted it out, and it's been absolutely fine. I've done loads of burns with it since. So, yeah, I think it's a pleasant experience. Between the Ray5 and the B1 is reasonably more expensive. I think currently it's on offer around €700. Which is a really good deal. Really good deal, because I think it was retailing originally around €1,100 to €1,200. And it's definitely worth that as well, to be fair. But the €600, I think it's a steal if you can afford it, and it's very capable. From what I can see, I'm quite excited to have a bit more playing with it. I'll get the honeycomb under it as well, and then get it all. I'm gonna make some like what I did on the Ray5. If you see the blue bit underneath, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually on a board, and it allows me to register everything much easier because I can put little blocks in and stuff. You see, but yeah. Anyway, if you've got either of these lasers or any other laser, how did you get on with it when you first got your laser and start playing about with it? Let me know in the comments down below. Toodaloo, and please. Oh yeah, don't forget boot the like button. Yeah, 'cause it helps the channel, you know. There it is. Then there you go, there's like, subscribe, and maybe a little bell icon, because then you get one fancy in your pocket every time I upload another video. Toodaloo.